Welcome to Elevate with Exidra, the podcast that explores the powerful connection between your home and your life. I'm Tihana, an interior designer and Feng Shui consultant, here to help you create a home that looks wonderful, but more importantly, feels wonderful. My mission is to make Feng Shui easy to understand and very practical so more people can enjoy balance, flow, and calm in their everyday living. Let's elevate your space and your energy, one conversation at a time. Hello, lovely. Welcome back. Hope your week is going well. Today is Wednesday and time for another episode, a little Wednesday refresh. It's a big week over here in Exidra world, in my world. It's actually my birthday this week, which feels a little bit unreal. Like, what, already? And I always get a little bit reflective around this time. And this year, I've been thinking about how far things have come, especially with Exidra Interiors. The website is almost ready to go live, which is so exciting. It has been a labor of love, and it was a bit of a mission to combine our building design side of the business that Alex looks after and interior design that I'm looking after. So a little bit of yin and yang there. But we are very happy with how the website looks at the moment and so excited for the launch. So I will keep you updated. But I remember when Exidra Interiors was just an idea that I have written somewhere. And now here we are, almost ready to open the digital doors. And I'm excited to see what's next. And speaking of doors, that brings us right to today's episode. We are diving into the entry of the home. So I have posted about it on my Instagram page this week. Having a podcast gives me a really nice opportunity to talk a little bit deeper about each area of your home, about each aspect of Feng Shui and how it combines so nicely with interior design. So, I'm going to expand about the entry of the home in this episode, and we actually call it the mouth of Qi in Feng Shui. So, Qi is another word for energy, or some people call it life force. So imagine your doors like the mouth of Qi in Feng Shui, because it's literally the space where energy first enters your home. And in many ways, it sets the tone for the entire home. So just like a birthday or launching something new, your entryway marks a beginning. And on the other hand, if that space is blocked, neglected, or just a bit chaotic, it can have a real effect, not just on how your home feels, but on how you feel too. And I think that's quite important. So, in this episode, we are exploring what makes a good entry, how to work with yours, even if it's small or oddly shaped. Remember, we always work with the space we have. And if something is not 100% feng shui perfect, that's fine. We just accept that and try to improve what we can. And also, if you are really into feng shui and you want to do a home analysis of your home, then we can recommend appropriate remedies or adjustments that can balance the energy in any home. So it's all about how we intentionally edit the space we have to invite in the energy and the life you actually want. Let's begin by going a little deeper into what the mouth of Qi actually means. So, Qi is energy, life force, and it's this invisible energy, invisible current that moves through your space and your body. In traditional Chinese medicine, Qi must flow freely for the body to stay healthy. So in Feng Shui, the same principle applies to your home. It needs to move freely. The mouth of Qi is exactly what it sounds like. It's the place where energy is first received. Imagine someone exhaling a long, fresh breath right into your front door. The mouth of Qi is where that breath enters. So when your entry area is open, balanced, and inviting, energy flows easily. It comes easily in and then it distributes. But when it's blocked, the flow becomes much slower or non existent, and so do the things that want to come into your life. And that's why we start here. Your entry is your home's first impression, but also its energetic gateway. Before we get into how to design a great entry, I would like to talk about signs that your mouth of Qi might be blocked or imbalanced. These are just examples, but I have seen them quite a lot, or people have told me. So, for example, you feel tired when you walk in the door, or you get overwhelmed the minute you step inside. You struggle to stay on top of your tasks and you can't keep up. You keep missing out on opportunities or connections that almost happen but don't. Something stops them. There's constant clutter at the front, maybe shoes piling up, bags dropped, packages left sitting. So, or maybe you never or rarely use your front door. You always go through the garage or side entrance. So, all of these are energetic symptoms. They tell us that the first point of contact between your life and your home isn't flowing quite right. And just like in the body, if you're holding tension in one area, it ripples out. But don't worry if any of that sounds familiar. That's exactly why Feng Shui is here to support you with. And I always like to repeat, it's not about perfection, it's about awareness. Just being aware of these things and looking at your home through a different lens. And then once you are aware, you can make gentle shifts. We don't need any more pressure in our busy daily lives. So it's not that you need to feng shui your whole home in 10 days, but you can start with one area of your home and make these gentle shifts and just notice, pay attention if anything else in your life is changing as well. So, last week I talked about some differences between interior design and feng shui. And if you look at it from a design perspective, when we think about the entry of the home, we think of lighting, furniture placement, maybe a mirror or art. But in feng shui, we also ask, how does this space feel? What is it inviting in or keeping out? This is where feng shui and interior design work so beautifully together because design gives you tools to elevate the look, which is nice and useful, and really love spaces that look nice. But feng shui gives you language to elevate the energy. For example, you bought a new console table, which looks great in your entry. But when you pay a bit more attention, might be too narrow or placed in a way that really stops the flow. Or it could create subtle resistance every time you walk in. Or maybe you have a nice, beautiful bench and shoe rack and you have styled them in a nice way, but there is no light above them. It feels dim and dark and lifeless. And energy doesn't want to enter where it feels dull. So this is why we look at both form and flow. And that's where the foyer becomes an interesting part of the story. There are certain things that are feng shui gold, and foyer is one of them. And you may ask why. And especially because not every home has one. But if yours does, treasure it. Because a foyer is a space of, let's say, transition, softens the arrival of energy into your home. So when energy enters your home, it's very fast. But instead of energy rushing straight into the living room or kitchen, the foyer acts like a filter. It slows things down. It gives you and the chi a moment to pause. And that's a good thing. And this is especially helpful in homes where the front door opens directly into a busy zone. And without that buffer, energy can overwhelm a space or get stuck too quickly. So it goes inside very quickly and then just gets stuck. So ideally, we want to look into allowing the energy to come inside your home, invite the energy, and then let it flow. Slow it down a little bit, but let it flow and direct it through the different areas of your home so each room gets a bit of that good energy. If you don't have a built in foyer, you can absolutely create one, but just have in mind having one is good and you can recreate it because you want to create that transition space that slows down the energy that comes inside your home before disseminating into different areas of your home. So you can use a rug in your entry to define the space. You can definitely use a low cabinet or console or side table to anchor it. A really good idea is to have a pendant light or a wall light to frame the area, even a tall plant to guide flow and soften the transition. These subtle signals tell the energy that comes in, this is where we begin. Okay, welcome. And this is the starting point for you. And they also help you arrive more fully into your home. When I first started working with Feng Shui more intentionally, one of the first areas I shifted was my entry. And at the time, I was constantly rushing. I'm always late, trying not to be. That's why I'm rushing. And everything felt a bit chaotic. I was working a little bit too much. And I realized my entry was telling the story. It was too dark. Shoes were always scattered, and I have two little ones, and four of us together have a lot of shoes. There was also a pile of reusable bags that I use, but then I have to return them to my car. So they were just sitting there waiting to be returned to my car. And all in all, it just wasn't right in some way. It didn't feel like me. It felt like I was coming home to stress because as soon as I would enter, I was like, oh my God, all these things are here. So I made a few simple changes. So I replaced the light bulb with a stronger one. I added a nice like wavy tray for keys. I really love the design of it and the feel, and it helps organize our keys. Cleared the floor, so no more shoes in our entry. That's like a rule now in my home. And I already had a side table, but now I make sure it's clutter free. So just the items that I love and that are useful for, say, keys and my sunnies. And also, I added some diffuser that I really love. So when I enter my home, I can smell that nice scent. So it was like my home took a breath, and so did I. And as soon as I did that, I feel almost like within 7 to 10 days, things kind of started moving. There was a new client inquiry, had a conversation that I was waiting for to happen for some time. There were small things, but noticeable. And that's what Feng Shui does. It shifts energy so it can move. And when energy moves, so does your life. You might have seen in my Instagram posts um, about 3 simple ways to elevate your entry. I just want to deepen it here with some context and intention. So, 3 simple things but powerful ways to elevate your entry, both visually and energetically. Because remember, we always think, okay, visually it looks nice, but also energetically it flows nicely. So, a good thing is to start in your garden. So, before your front door. If you don't have a garden, it could be the space in front of your front door. So, anything really between the street and your front door. So, make sure it's clear, it's balanced in a way. You have some nice, fresh plants, healthy plants. And it just even before you enter your home, it feels nice and organized. And then do the same with your entry. So if you have any clutter at the front door, that can create an energetic jam. Think of it like a traffic jam. So energy just can't get through. Also, keep the floor space open, nothing that you can trip on. Create a flow that feels easy to walk through. Then, lighting is also very important because lighting activates chi. It literally turns on the space. So, if you don't have enough natural light in your home entry, like I don't. It's quite dark even in the middle of the day. It's fine to turn on the light, but in any way, even if you don't do it during the day, make sure to use warm bulbs and, if possible, layer the light. So you might have a pendant, but you also might have table light or wall light and table light. So make sure your entry has enough light, but avoid cold white or overly dim lighting there. It just lowers the frequency. And then add a personal object or something that you really love. So maybe you love a vase of fresh flowers, like I do. Or maybe there is a piece of art that you like and it makes you happy when you see it. Or there is a photo of your family that you really like. Everybody seems happy. You can put it there as well. Or sculpture is always a nice addition to any space. Or even a crystal. Crystals are very powerful. Make it something that represents your energy and the energy you want to call in. This is a subtle way of setting intention without saying a word. If you want to elevate your entry even more, few ideas. So you can add a mirror, and that's really good if your entry is narrow, so it can visually make the space feel larger. And it can also reflect the light, so it can make your entry lighter, but avoid placing it directly across from the door. So on the side is fine. If it's placed directly across from the door, that can reflect energy right back out. So happy energy wants to come in, but you're like, no, thank you, get out. So we don't want that. Then you can add a plant Plants are always great for encouraging growth and vitality, but when choosing your plants, avoid spiky ones at the doors. Always aim for soft, round leaves. Also, make sure that your front door functions properly. So if it squeaks or feels heavy, that's not great. That's also symbolic. So maybe you can fix your front door if that's the case, and then you might create surprising shifts in your life. It might sound a little bit funny, but why not try? Sometimes people avoid dealing with the entry because of what it represents, because the front door is where life comes in. So if you are feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or hesitant to welcome something new into your life, this might be the space where that feeling has landed. And editing the entry can be like a gentle emotional release, letting go of old things, releasing that stuck energy, and making room for possibility again and new opportunities. So, as we close, I want to leave you with a question, two questions actually. What are you inviting into your life right now? And is your home entry ready to receive it? Sometimes the smallest edits, like a cleared doormat, a polished door handle, or a welcoming light, can be the beginning of something new. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this episode resonated, I'd be so grateful if you shared it with a friend or left a review. And if you are curious about working with me or exploring more, you can find links via my Instagram bio or soon on the new website. So exciting! Can't wait to show it to you. Until next time, take a breath, clear a corner of your home, and remember, your home wants to support you. You just have to let the energy in. I'm Tihana. Thank you for listening.